Hello, my name is MMinnick. I was a 2007 Atlanta Corps member, and I'm currently on staff serving as the Managing Director of State Funding and Policy for the 3 Florida regions. My interest in this fellowship is being driven by both short-term and long-term professional development opportunities. In the short term, it's simply to become more effective in my current position. My role is unique in that I assume a number of responsibilities that are similar to those that executive directors take on. I'm tasked with conveying a case for support to state level stakeholders, lawmakers, DOE staff, alumni. I am responsible for ensuring leveraging our cultural competencies so that we're not just existing in this statewide education ecosystem, but we are an active force and a partner in the statewide work to overcome educational inequities. And I also work on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis with 3 different executive directors and facilitate learning across regions and learn myself from the unique opportunities that are and traits of these executive directors. So I think in the short term, it'll help me serve those executive directors more effectively, and will also develop skills that are necessary to be effective in my role. In the long term, I would like to address some weaknesses that I currently have in my executive management portfolio, if you will. My role is one that is, I manage a lot of systems. I serve as an advisory capacity to the EDs, but I have limited experience when it comes to managing people to reach objectives, to reach measurable objectives. And based on what I've read of this fellowship, I think that it will help me cultivate some of the executive management skills that would help me become a better leader in this organization, regardless if that's an executive director or not. And I think it would give me a better insight into some of the functional foundations of what it means to be an executive director at this organization. Why am I compelled to be an executive director? This question takes me back to my experience as a Corps member and really makes me think about my time. When I talk to people about my experience, I used to say, oh, my time in the Corps changed me. But upon deeper reflection, I'm not sure that's entirely accurate. I think that my time in the Corps awakened a part of me that I didn't know existed. And that part is to dedicate my career to serving others, but not just in some random cause, but to dedicate my career to ending educational inequity. And my executive director in Atlanta, Kwame Griffith, I always marveled at his ability to inspire me not just to be a better teacher in my classroom, but inspire me to be part of something bigger than myself. And I think that's what compels my interest the most with being an executive director, is that I see this work to break down systemic inequities as it's essential that you're part of something larger than yourself. And I would like to be able to inspire others, our future leaders, be those teachers or any other kind of leader in this work, to be a part of something bigger than themselves. Looking at a specific challenge that I've had in this leadership position, there is a specific example that comes to mind. A major responsibility of mine is to work with the 3 regions on securing state funding. And in my first year in this role, we had a significant step back there. We had an appropriation that was ultimately vetoed by a governor. And so not only was there that step back, we also had a breakdown of communication with a number of our board members who quite honestly just were not happy with the level of communication and engagement they were getting throughout the legislative process. So there were 2 areas to address: the finding a pathway to secure funding, being a better communicator. On the second area, being a better communicator, I looked in the mirror. I internalized that I needed to become a more consistent communicator with the board members, and that required setting up a system of internal rhythms and strategies that allowed for that process to be cultivated. We also created a space where we had some board members that were tapped into the legislative strategies from both Miami and Jacksonville come together and be part of a larger statewide strategy team. On the first issue, we just had to take a step back and I evaluated our strengths and weaknesses across the state. We hired new lobbyists that complemented those strengths and weaknesses, and we identified a different pathway that could secure funding without needing an direct approval of the governor. As a result of these actions, we have now secured funding from the state of Florida, despite a governor who remains unsupportive. And we have board members who are happier. They feel a part of the process, and they are engaged not just strategically, but also financially with our statewide government affairs work. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope to be a part of this Executive Director Fellowship.